Hey Spectrum, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Kenzie, and we have a lot of stuff to cover, so listen up.
Today, we will be highlighting January's Volunteer of the Month and have some interesting feature stories on Mrs. Dammeier and sports injuries.
Noise News starts right now.
Spectrum High School has been named one of the best high schools in the state and the country by earning the 2018 U.S. News & World Report Best High Schools Silver Medal.
U.S. News & World Report uses very specific criteria, like test scores and graduation rates, to determine their best high schools rankings.
Thank you, students, for always giving your best effort. We are proud of your accomplishment.
We would like to take a moment to also recognize January's Volunteer of the Month, Daniel Eck. Mr. Eck has been a regular volunteer at Spectrum for many years.
Mr. Eck even used several of his vacation days last summer to come in to unbox, assemble, and place furniture for our new middle school building. He even returned to assemble 28 more tables from other shipment of furniture.
Mr. Eck shows up whenever he is needed, and even unannounced. We thank him for his dedication and service to Spectrum.
Imagine spending weeks or months in a hospital without your familiar things. A Serving of Sunshine is looking to brighten the days of children and their families at local children's hospitals through a drive for games, books, snacks, personal hygiene, and a long list of other items.
All items donated must be new. A box can be found outside of room 103 to drop your items. The drive will take place until February 22nd.
Now, let's send it over to sports with Tim.
Hey Spectrum, it's Tim here to bring you what we think happened over this past week. Already rescheduled games got canceled, and thanks to snow, we'll give as much information as we can. Starting off, wrestling had their meet at Brooklyn Center canceled, but on Saturday, they had their conference tournament at Columbia Heights. Basketball had a bunch of games canceled and rescheduled on both Tuesday and Thursday. On Friday, the boys basketball team faced Pact, and on Saturday, they went to New Life Academy. The girls basketball team had a home game Saturday against Heritage Christian Academy. The dance team had section on Saturday at Bloomington Kennedy, and our co-op for swimming and diving with Elk River had their championship meet against the Maple Grove Crimson, making them the conference champion for the 5th year in a row. That rounds out sports for this week. Noise will be right back after this short break.
Ooh, this is a good book.
Keegan, what you reading there?
I'm reading some anime, Caleb.
Anime? Why would you
Yeah.
read anime when you could be reading the all-new Spectrum High School yearbook? Look it, there's all sorts of different pictures and descriptions, just like anime. It tells the story of our school. Really cool stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's way better than anime can tell.
Yearbooks, just like this one, are available for sale for $52 up until March 1st. But there's a limited quantity, so you better make sure that you get yours as soon as possible so that you're not stuck reading anime when you could be reading yearbooks. Do you want to be stuck reading anime, Sam?
No.
He wants a yearbook. So do you.
Get your yearbook today.
Continuing off of the topic of sports, Spectrum has had a few unfortunate events in the terms of physical health during sports seasons.
Starting in the fall with Max Lawrence's football injury and continuing to more recently with Morgan Novotny's ACL tear, we took the time to learn more about some sports injuries happening around Spectrum. Take it away, Tim and Braden.
Behind all the glory you see in the sports world, each and every athlete runs the risk of some form of grievous injury.
Get injured.
I broke my shoulder during football when I dislocated my rotator cuff. It made it really hard to play football, especially using my arms and stuff. Yeah, it just kind of slowed me down because mentally I didn't really know what I could do. I can't really do anything with my arm. I've been out of surgery for 7 weeks now, and I still have a couple months left to do therapy and have rehab, and it's kind of slowed me down.
I tore my ACL and my meniscus. I was in a basketball scrimmage, and then this girl pushed me from behind, and then my knee twisted. I have to do physical therapy every day, and I have this thing that helps my knee get better faster.
Trainers are there to help with any form of injury, from a torn ACL to a bruised knee.
Well, there's actually a number of different areas you can be an athletic trainer. So there's the sports arena, which is the biggest one, high school sports, college sports, professional sports. There's also the industrial setting and work stuff, so people who are physically active for their job. So there's programs out there for like that are specific to football teams or basketball teams or soccer teams, where you have them go through a program as part of their warm-up. So for soccer players, it'd be a lot of ankle and knee strengthening stuff. You have them do as they're part of their warm-up, and it just helps strengthen those commonly injured.
This has been Tim and Braden for Noise News, signing off.
Now let's take some time to learn a little bit more about one of the office ladies who people tend to overlook, Miss Dammeier. Let's prance on over to Caleb, Parker, and Keegan for a hot take on this topic.
Everyone knows Miss Dammeier is the bright and cheerful office lady at Spectrum who always opens the door for you when you come in late. Or is the kind lady who gives out candy after you turn in a permission slip. But very few students actually know what her job is.
I have no idea.
I'm not even gonna try to
Not even
make.
a
I'm
little
not gonna
bit.
try to make that up.
Ms. Dammeier's job is assisting students at this school.
I think that Miss Dammeier sits on the computer and types stuff in the office.
Nice.
Make that up.
I've had 6 years and I have no clue. She like talks on the phone and
Like a
makes
secretary sort of thing?
appointments.
I think she just goes on the computer and types stuff in the College Career Center.
Ms. Dammeier welcomes everyone that enters Spectrum as a guest when they come in. She greets them with a smile, and she kind of just helps them get where they need to go after they arrive at Spectrum.
Is this a trick question?
Miss Dammeier, I think she opens the doors for people.
Yeah, that's all I got.
You know.
Where's Mrs. Is she the office lady?
I don't know. I am the volunteer coordinator here at Spectrum, and which means that when a staff member needs someone to come and sell tickets, sell concessions, help out as a chaperone on a field trip event, that they give me a call and I put out the email to the families, and then the families either volunteer or don't volunteer, and I coordinate that.
While Mrs. Dammeier's official job title is volunteer coordinator, we all know that she does a lot more than that.
Some days I'll be decorating Christmas trees, and some days I will be cleaning out the staff lounge or the fridge, or cleaning the flower pots in the front. No 2 days are the same. I really like that. I am a person that needs a lot of variety, so I like that.
Miss Dammeier has done a lot for Spectrum in the past 7 years and likes a lot about the school.
I like the fact that it is small. It has a sort of a family atmosphere to it, and that is cozy to work in. Yet it's big enough and progressive enough that, you know, we're graduating some really fine students that are ready for college, and all of that is marvelous to be a part of. I like what I'm doing, and I like who I work with.
While Mrs. Dammeier's job is great, there are some downsides to it.
And the downside of my job is, one thing I am disappointed with every year is when the kids that you've watched grow up from 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, you watch them grow up and be a part of their lives, and then they have the nerve to graduate and leave you. It's heartbreaking every year, over and over. But it's great.
Even though her job has downsides, Miss Dammeier loves doing it and wouldn't change it for the world. This has been Keegan, Parker, and Caleb, signing off.
Well done, you guys. Well, that's all the news we have for you today, Spectrum. This has been Marcus Grund
and Kenzie Alders, keeping you
in on the noise.